It was a day like any other in Lowell, Indiana. The sun was shining, families gathered at the ballpark. Children laughed as they chased after foul balls. Little did anyone know, a nightmare was about to unfold. A 14-year-old girl, simply enjoying the day with her friends, was brutally attacked, stabbed multiple times, left for dead near the bleachers. The assailant vanished into the surrounding woods. Panic ensued. Witnesses were in shock. How could something so horrific happen here, in their peaceful town? Law enforcement arrived quickly, sirens blaring. The scene was chaotic. Parents frantically searched for their children. First responders tended to the young victim. Medics raced her to the hospital, her life hanging in the balance. A desperate search began for the attacker. The idyllic afternoon had been shattered, replaced by fear and uncertainty. The quaint town of Lowell was now the epicenter of a massive manhunt. Police from multiple agencies descended upon the area. K-9 units with their noses to the ground combed through the woods. Helicopters circled overhead, their searchlights piercing the darkness. The suspect, described as a Hispanic male with long, dark hair, was considered armed and dangerous. Residents were warned to stay indoors, to lock their doors, to report any suspicious activity. Hours ticked by. The tension in the air was palpable. Then a break. A resident reported a sighting near a gas station just outside of town. The suspect, desperate and disheveled, was attempting to blend in with the crowd. Officers moved in swiftly, apprehending him without incident. The relief in the community was immense. A dangerous fugitive was off the streets, but the scars of that day would remain. As details about the suspect emerged, the community was left reeling. The man, identified as 32-year-old Miguel Flores, was not unknown to law enforcement. He had a history of violence, with prior arrests for assault and domestic abuse. The revelation ignited a firestorm of controversy. Section 4. A community in shock. A family in anguish. The brutal attack sent shockwaves through the tight-knit community of Lowell. This wasn't supposed to happen here. Not in their small town where everyone knew their neighbors. Fear and suspicion crept in. Parents were afraid to let their children out of their sight. The innocence of a carefree afternoon at the ballpark was gone, replaced by an undercurrent of anxiety. But amidst the fear, there was also an outpouring of love and support. Get-well cards and flowers poured into the hospital room of the young victim. Fundraisers were organized to help her family with medical expenses. The community rallied around them, offering prayers and words of encouragement. The victim, who remained unidentified due to her age, was fighting for her life. Her family, clinging to hope, prayed for a miracle. Section 5. Lowell grapples with a senseless act. The stabbing at the baseball field was a stark reminder that violence can erupt anywhere, at any time. It shattered the illusion of safety in the small town of Lowell. Residents were left grappling with the aftermath, trying to make sense of the senseless. How could something so horrific happen in their own backyard? The attack sparked important conversations about public safety. Should there be increased security at public events? Were there warning signs that were missed? Were there systemic failures that allowed this tragedy to occur? The community demanded answers, seeking ways to prevent such a horrific event from ever happening again. Section 6. Calls for justice and increased security. In the wake of the stabbing, there were growing calls for justice. The community wanted to see the perpetrator held accountable for his actions. They wanted assurances that he would never be in a position to harm another innocent person. The fact that the suspect was an illegal immigrant who had been deported multiple times only intensified their anger and frustration. The incident served as a wake-up call, a stark reminder that even in the most peaceful of communities, danger can lurk. It ignited a debate about border security, illegal immigration, and the need for vigilance. The people of Lowell, forever marked by this tragedy, vowed to honor the young victim by fighting for justice and working to ensure the safety of their town. The healing process would be long and arduous, but they would face it together, united in their determination to prevent such a tragedy from ever happening again.